Deep within the rugged Wrangell St Elias mountain range in Alaska lies Kennecott, one of the most iconic abandoned mining towns in the United States. Today, it stands frozen in time, its towering red wooden mill structures and decaying homes silently overlooking a landscape of glaciers and jagged peaks. The story of Kennecott is one of discovery, ambition, wealth, and eventual decline, a testament to how resource extraction built communities and then left them behind when the resources were gone. This once thriving town is now preserved as part of Wrangell St Elias National Park and remains a haunting reminder of the boom and bust cycles of American industry. The origins of Kennecott date back to the turn of the 20th century, when prospectors and investors discovered some of the richest copper deposits ever found. In 1900, two prospectors, Jack Smith and Clarence Warner, stumbled upon what they described as a mountain of green, rich with high-grade copper ore. Their find attracted the attention of financiers, including the powerful J.P. Morgan and the Guggenheim family, who invested heavily in the project. By 1903, the Kennecott Copper Corporation was established and began mining operations that would transform the remote wilderness into a bustling industrial hub. The Kennecott mines were extraordinary not only for their location, but also for the sheer quality of the ore. The deposits contained some of the purest copper ever discovered, with concentrations as high as 70%. At a time when copper was in high demand for wiring, electricity, and industrial growth, this discovery proved immensely profitable. The company quickly built a complex network of mines, processing mills, power plants, railroads, and housing for workers, carving out a self-contained community in the Alaskan frontier. Life in Kennecott was both harsh and modern for its time. The town was located in a remote, glacier-carved valley, and winters were brutally cold. Supplies had to be shipped by rail, dog sled, or pack animal. Yet the company spared little expense in building infrastructure. Workers' housing, a hospital, a school, a general store, and recreational facilities were established, making Kennecott a relatively comfortable community compared to many mining camps. Strict company rules governed daily life, but workers received reliable wages and a sense of stability in exchange for enduring the isolation and dangers of mining. The centerpiece of Kennecott was the massive 14-story mill building, an engineering marvel that processed copper ore hauled down from the mines above. Conveyor systems, crushers, and flotation devices worked around the clock to extract pure copper for shipment. The town was connected to the coast by the Copper River and Northwestern Railway, a 196-mile track built through some of the most treacherous terrain in Alaska. This railroad allowed Kennecott copper to reach Cordova, where it was shipped to global markets. During its peak, Kennecott employed hundreds of workers and produced more than $200 million worth of copper, a staggering figure in early 20th century terms. The mines fueled industrial growth in the United States and provided materials essential for electrification, infrastructure, and the First World War effort. The prosperity seemed endless, but like many resource-based towns, the lifespan of Kennecott was tied directly to the availability of ore. By the 1930s, the once rich deposits had begun to dwindle. Cheaper sources of copper were discovered elsewhere, and the costs of maintaining operations in such a remote location became unsustainable. In 1938, the Kennecott Copper Corporation abruptly shut down the mines. Workers were ordered to leave quickly, and many simply walked away, leaving behind homes, furniture, and equipment. The town was abandoned almost overnight, transforming it from a symbol of industrial progress into a ghost town. For decades, Kennecott sat silent, its buildings slowly decaying in the harsh Alaskan weather. Glaciers crept closer, and nature began reclaiming the site. Yet its history and the haunting beauty of its preserved structures drew adventurers, historians, and eventually the National Park Service. In 1978, the region became part of Wrangell St Elias National Park and Preserve, the largest national park in the United States. Efforts were made to stabilize and preserve the remaining buildings, including the towering mill, bunkhouses, and company store. Today, Kennecott is a National Historic Landmark and a popular destination for travelers seeking to step back into history. Walking through Kennecott today is like wandering through an industrial time capsule. Rusted equipment still lies scattered in the mill. Wooden homes with peeling paint stand against a backdrop of glaciers and snowy peaks. Visitors can tour restored structures, explore interpretive exhibits, and even hike up to the old Bonanza mine, perched precariously on the mountain above. The silence is broken only by the wind and the creaking of old timbers, reminders of the bustling community that once thrived here. Kennecott remains a powerful symbol of ambition and impermanence. It represents the ingenuity of engineers and miners who built a thriving community in one of the most remote and hostile environments imaginable. At the same time, it stands as a cautionary tale about dependence on finite resources and the human costs of industrial expansion. Its preservation allows future generations to reflect on the complexities of progress, the resilience of frontier communities, and the transient nature of boomtowns. As one of the most famous abandoned towns in the United States, Kennecott captures the imagination of visitors, historians, and photographers. Its towering red buildings against the Alaskan wilderness create an unforgettable image of decay and endurance. For those who journey to Wrangell St Elias, Kennecott is more than just a ghost town. It is a living museum of the copper empire that once dominated the mountains, and an enduring reminder of how quickly fortunes can rise and fall.